Welcome to Until Saturday, live reaction edition on Saturday. Holy shit, man.
Wow. That was
That's
unbelievable.
It. We'll catch you guys later tonight when we go live. I am absolutely floored, Sam. Like, I am floored. Wow. And listen, we knew that Travis Hunter was going to be good. Maybe even potentially great. Like, I don't think that I would have argued with you if you thought he was one of the top 10 players in college football before watching him play. I drafted him in our Heisman draft, 3 weeks ago when we did it. But their lines held up. Mm-hmm. Shedeur Sanders is the first quarterback in Colorado history to throw for 500 yards or more, 510 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 80% completion percentage. Colorado wins on the road despite being a 20.5-point underdog. Sam, our techspert, what did you see out there?
I saw a team that was not only competent, but really damn good. Like, they played clean. Shedeur Sanders was terrific. The way he ran that offense, the way he made his decisions, he took care of the ball for the most part. I think they had the one fumble, but for the most part, took care of the ball. No interceptions. Like you said, over 500 yards for his passing debut. Dylan Edwards, the true freshman running back, going bananas with over 135 yards receiving and 5 catches and 3 touchdowns. I saw a TCU defense that was on its heels against a pace and an offense that it should be used to defending. And I think Colorado clearly outplayed TCU. And in some ways, I think outcoached them. And you knew this was going to be hard to scout for this because there was 70 new players. It was going to be a challenge to do it. But because of that, this team hasn't been together all offseason. They've added these pieces throughout the offseason. You would think they needed time to gel. But I saw a Colorado team that, especially early on, looked cleaner and more organized than TCU did. TCU was getting a penalty for too many guys on the field. They were trying to sub during tempo, and it wasn't working out. And Colorado made the plays when they had to. TCU left 2 red zone touchdowns off the board because of interceptions that Colorado came up with. But this was just a better team. And Colorado, dare I say, a real factor in the Pac-12 this year, if this is what we're going to see every week.
Yeah, I think they're like win totals 3.5.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Well, listen, I thought coming into this game that TCU was just going to grind the hell out of them and then blow them off the ball, especially in the second half. At points in the second half, I felt like TCU wasn't running it enough because that was starting to happen with the lines. But if you would have told me, Sam, or we had a bingo card that said Colorado would be playing cleaner and more efficiently than TCU from a coaching standpoint before the game, I would have been like, we're talking about the same TCU team that made it all the way to the national championship game last year, despite the fact that, they had a ton of transfers and weren't up in the, upper echelon of the talent composite rankings because they were well coached, because they played hard. Like, this was the exact opposite. I kind of feel like TCU played in this game the way that Michigan played against TCU in the playoff. It was like a 45-minute, 45-minute, grace period when the game started from like, okay, when's TCU going to wake up? When's TCU going to wake up? And then it just turned into a whole game of just like, maybe it wasn't TCU that was asleep. I don't think they played a particularly good game. They turned the ball over twice in the red zone, deep red zone, and they missed a field goal. I mean, there were certainly things that they left out on the field, but Colorado is much better than I thought they would be. Like that, and I don't know if they'll run out of gas or, Travis Hunter played 110 plays. Do you know how good a shape you'd have to be to play 110 plays? Deion said they're going to put a hot tub in him on the plane for him. I am legitimately shocked, though. Are you with me on that? Like, are you shocked that Colorado
100%, 100% shocked. If you would have told me that they would have been competitive and they would have found a way to be in the game late, sure, I could have believed it. Would I have expected it? No. Could I have believed it? Sure. Because one thing I will say that Deion Sanders did do for all the hype and buildup, he did hire a really good coaching staff. He's got good coaches at Colorado.
Yeah, Sean Lewis did a great job today, I thought.
And it showed. It showed. Sean Lewis did a terrific job today. And like I said, had TCU's defense on its heels all day long. But if you would have told me they were going to win and that TCU was going to have to play catch up with them late, I would have been stunned. And again, it comes down to what you just talked about: clean play, organized play. They looked disciplined. They didn't make a ton of mistakes that you would have expected a team this new, just playing together for the first time, would be making.
Well, here's the thing. Like, my number one thing with Colorado has always been, can they win games with weak lines because they've got elite level skill talent? And Shedeur Sanders, while watching the game, it didn't really feel like he was like the world beater out there. I thought that Travis Hunter was the star. But they have really, really good skill position players. And Dylan Edwards, the true freshman they flipped late last year from Notre Dame, who was ranked outside of the top 200 in the 247 Sport Composite last year, I think scored 4 touchdowns in this game. And that one run where he was running down the sideline full speed, then hesitated, slowed down a little bit, and then bursted. It's like, is that another star that we weren't accounting for this year? Weaver, the receiver, was open the entire game. And I got to say, like, Travis Hunter, I don't know if it's an overreaction here, Sam. Is Travis Hunter the best player in college football?
I don't know, but I know if I was starting to put in a Heisman ballot together in September, he's got to be on it. Does he not? When you play that many snaps in 90-degree heat and play well, you run by guys, you catch for 119 yards, 11 catches, this close to getting 2 touchdowns. That the one that he got interfered with by Josh Newton, that his foot came down, and then the diving catch that he fell down and it popped out. He was close to having 2 touchdown catches and probably 200 receiving yards. Oh, by the way, made the play of the day, a diving interception in the red zone toward a TCU scoring chance. Unbelievable performance from Travis Hunter. He, as I said earlier when on Twitter, he is that dude.
So I don't know. We'll probably get into, it's going to be a long week of podcasts in the Until Saturday feed. We're going to break down everything that happens tonight. Dave Eben and I will do that. Dave's at the game right now covering it. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of awesome anecdotes from covering it. But you're probably going to talk a little bit about what this means for TCU too. I mean, when you think about, the Colorado hype train is completely, like, if you thought it was crazy this summer, this next week and going into the Nebraska game where they may be a touchdown spread favorite or underdog, it's going to be a close spread probably. And then you're like thinking about, I think somebody here in the comments said, Vaughn, our buddy, said that he can't wait to be fed the USC Colorado game. Like, thinking about how fun that's going to be. Like, Colorado, whether they're going to be good or bad, whatever, if they're going to win 7 games or 3, became appointment television to today. Like, I thought there was a chance in my head, like coming into it, if you listen to the show, because of their lines and because of the size and the secondary and stuff, that there was a chance that TCU could have won this game 59-10 or something. And that wouldn't have shocked me at all. And then it would have just become boring. Like, if you are a fan of characters in the sport and entertaining value, like, Deion Sanders is here to stay in terms of it being a storyline and something to watch for every week. So, I thought that if they would have kept the game within 2 scores, that would have been a successful story for Deion Sanders. But to go out and win on the road against a team that played in the national championship game after flipping 70 players on your roster is borderline absurd. It's insane. It's banana land.
It is. He got validated today. Deion earned some validation today for everybody who thought it was smoke and mirrors. And, well, you did it at Jackson State and you had better talent than everybody there. Guess what? He had, yes, they got some really good talent in the portal, but TCU is just as talented a team as Colorado is right now. And they ran roughshod over them, 565 offensive yards. And this is validation for Deion Sanders that, yes, he is a good coach. He can put together a winner. He is putting together a program that people are going to have to reckon with. And, buddy, by the way, this is going to be a conference game next year when they play. So they're coming to the Big 12, which already is competitive. So, but they're going to be a factor in the Pac-12 this year if this is how they're going to play. But next year, man, this is going to add a boatload of fun to the Big 12 when they come.
Joey Nichols said in the chat here, Travis Hunter will be a top 5 pick in the draft in 2025. I think that is a certainty, just in terms of his versatility, his explosiveness. I don't know what he'll have to do body size wise, but Shedeur Sanders throwing for over 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. You have an entire skill position unit, both at the receiver position and at the running back position, just eating up stats all day. It's like I don't even know what there is to criticize Nebraska about. Dylan Edwards rushed for 24 yards, but he also caught 5 passes for 135 yards. Travis Hunter had 11 receptions, 119 yards. He could have scored 3 times. He didn't score. Jimmy Horn Jr., 11 receptions for 117 yards and a touchdown. And Xavier, they had 4 receivers with over 100 yards receiving. Did you know that before I just said that right now?
Yes. I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, I just realized that right now.
6 different receivers got the ball today. Shedeur
when my wife gets home from the grocery store or wherever the hell she is, we're gonna have a long discussion about where our mortgage went after I hit TCU live minus 10.5, minus 6.5, and minus 3.5, and I'm just sitting here trying to understand how a team that's supposed to have dudes that are less athletic than me on the offensive and defensive lines at times held up his way as good as they did. So no matter what you think about Deion Sanders moving forward, appointment watching. We have to watch that every single week, no matter what. Dylan Edwards is a true freshman going out there and scoring 4 touchdowns. Shedeur Sanders, 500 yards. Travis Hunter, one of the best players in the sport. Definitely wish I bet over 3.5 wins.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, this is you look at it, and I'll be interested to see how it plays out as we go out through the year. Obviously you got to catch some, can you stay healthy when you have to run the ball to win? Can you? Are they going to have to run the ball to win? Because that's something they didn't have to do today. They threw it all over the yard. Wilkerson with 45 yards, Dylan Edwards 24, Anthony Hankerson 21. So can you run the ball when you have to? And then, Nebraska, that was a game that you would have thought when we were talking about this in the preseason. We know how physical Matt Rule's team is supposed to be. You would think, well, they're going to go bludgeon them, up front. And now I wonder if Nebraska's going to be able to keep up after what we saw from Nebraska on Thursday and what we saw from Colorado today. So
I hope that that Colorado just shows up in the polls this week.
Yes.
I
mean, they just beat the number 17 team.
Yeah, they did on the road.
And they looked good doing it. That's the thing. They looked really good doing it. If there's one thing I will say about TCU is you mentioned you thought they would run the ball a little bit more. They ended up with 37 rushes. They ran the ball for 262 yards. There was a point in the third quarter, I think it was after the Imani Bailey run, I started to think, are they going to start pounding it here? Are they going to start wearing them down? And even though they ran it well, they didn't. I think you're right. They could have leaned into it a little bit more. And would that have made a difference? I don't know, because they couldn't defend. They couldn't defend all these skill position guys. Jimmy Horn went off. Xavier Weaver went off. Dylan Edwards went off. I mean, they could not cover all these guys. And that's with a secondary, by the way, that has 4 of its 5 starters back. TCU does. So it's master performance. Like I said, validation for Deion. This is, he said they were coming. Buddy, they're here.
3 observations. Ready? Before I let you go watch the Horns begin their playoff race.
Yeah, somebody just pointed I'm missing the Texas game. This is true. It's 7-3 Texas right now as I look at my TV screen.
Don't worry, Quinn's lighting it up. You just close your eyes and envision the playoff run.
JT Daniels action too going on.
One, I think Travis Hunter's existence and the fact that he can beat anybody over the top in college football this year is the reason why TCU insisted on playing their corners 8 yards off the ball the entire game. Mm-hmm. And if you're a TCU fan, that must have been infuriating to watch, because it's just like dinking and dunking down the field a lot for 8, 7, 6, 5 yard gains. And then they hit you over the top. That's tough. 2, Deion Sanders and the entire apparel situation at Colorado is amazing. Like not like the uniforms were clean. The white is clean. Like, I want to just buy Colorado stuff because it just looks sick. And then 3, the last observation, then we're going to go back to watching football. He wore a hoodie in Fort Worth in early September when it was 100 and whatever degrees outside. It had to be 130 at certain places on the field. That is legitimate psychopath behavior. Sam. Am I wrong about that? Like, what are we doing?
No,
like, he can wear whatever he wants. He's so hot right now, literally. What if he's putting this thing on? Holy crap. But anyway, so Thank you guys so much for listening to our first instant reaction of the season. I think we're going to have a lot of these because this is incredible. Be sure we are going live again, so be sure tonight on the YouTube channel when Dave Ubben is done filing a story and all the games are in the books. We're going to be reacting to all of Saturday live tonight, and that'll be the Sunday show. And then, of course, we're going to be doing our Sunday sound off episodes. Like usual, we're going to do it on Monday this week, because we don't want to do it before the LSU Florida State game, which is on Sunday afternoon. But we will be here after the primetime games tonight. I don't know if we have an exact time, but we're going to monitor the primetime games, and then we'll be back here to do it again. And Dave, of course, will be able to take us deeper because he is at the game and reporting on it, and has basically become our Colorado beat writer. Sam, thanks so much for joining us. I know you're the techspert, but you got to go watch Quinn Ewers rifle that pigskin, and I got to go watch some things too because I'm on duty as well. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. We will have the full-on podcast later. Can't wait. That was the Until Saturday first live reaction video.